do I have a word for you all on today? Yes, 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 yes. So I was at the drive-thru on my lunch break, and all of a sudden, I just heard process, process. And I can remember the first time I heard a sermon on, you have to go to the process to get to the blessing. God has to process you. And I really didn't like that sermon. And because I really did not understand what being processed was really about. All I know is that it didn't sound right. It didn't sound like something that I really liked. And then I kept hearing it more and more. You got to go through the process. You got to go through the process. I'm like, well, I've never heard that. Anyway, though, but I am a licensed cosmetologist. So I really didn't understand the spiritual process that we have to go through until I started doing processes on people's hair. Now, there are two processes that usually we do in cosmetologists. It is a relaxer and a perm. They are both called processes. Why? Because there are certain steps that the hair has to go through to obtain the desired result. So relaxers are usually done on people who have kinky hair and they want that hair straightened out or smoothed out, or some may say manageable. So we have to do a relaxer on it, and you have to go through steps, a process to obtain that straight result. Okay. And then there are perms that people get. A lot of times perms are usually what is done on Caucasian hair, to where people maybe who have straight hair and they want it to be curly or kinky curly, or they want some body to their hair. And so it's called a perm, and the hair has to go through a process to obtain those desired results. Now let's get back on the relaxer, because I did those a lot more than I did perms. Now, relaxers, usually when you put a relaxer on someone's hair, it is because someone is wanting the kinky part of their hair straighten out, whether it's just the roots, or they may have kinky hair from the roots to the end. And so you're going to have to apply that relaxer on the kinky hair and smooth it out. There are steps that you have to take that hair through to get those desired results. And so it is in our spiritual processes. There are some things that God has to take us through a process in order for certain things to be processed out of us, in order for certain things to be straightened out in our lives. Because sometimes we may have a kinky behavior. We may have a kinky mindset. We may have a kinky lifestyle. You may have a kinky way of dressing. And those kinky areas in our lives, they have to be smoothed out. They have to be straightened out. And sometimes the only way that can be done is that God has to take you through a process. And a lot of times that's why God takes us through, or allows us to go through, spiritual warfare. Because when you do spiritual warfare and you do it according to the word of God, there are things in your life that are being processed out of you, straightened out in your life. Now, why? Why do you need to go through a process? Why does God need to straighten some stuff out, straighten those kinky areas out in your life? Why? So that your prayers can be answered. Yeah, the ones that sit right here. You know, those prayers that sit right here. That's what he's trying to do. Straighten you out. Straighten areas in your life out. So that those prayers, the ones you really want answered, that sit right here. So that those prayers can be answered for you. Gotta go through the process. Okay? You gotta go through the process. And that's a lot of times God uses spiritual warfare to process things out of us, to straighten us out so we can walk that narrow path. So we ain't all over the place, seeking here, seeking there. Look, no. We need to be processed. And there are certain things in our lives we can't be prayed out, can't be fasted out, can't be cast out. You're just going to have to go through the process. Yeah, you're going to, just like how we slap that relaxer on that new growth, and then we have to straighten it out, and then we got to let it sit for a certain amount of time, and then go back and smooth it out, and then let it sit some more, and then we got to rinse it out, and then we got to use about 3 different kinds of shampoos, make sure we balance that pH out, and then we gotta condition it, and then may even have to put you under the dryer for about 10 minutes, and then we gotta let you see it, and then we gotta rinse the conditioner out, and who knows, then we may have to put some other styling products on there before we actually style that hair. But that hair has to go through a process to obtain those desired results. A lot of times that's why you may be in spiritual warfare. It may be God just trying to process some stuff out of you. Yeah, just trying to straighten out your kinky areas. So I just wanted to give y'all that meat on today, and I hope you ate well. Y'all have a blessed weekend.